I'm Bob Hallmark in our Longview studios today. We're going to talk a little bit about a foundation we told you about last week, and that is the U.S. Ukraine Foundation. Now, it's significant because there is a delegation of Ukrainians that is in East Texas right now. And a matter of fact, they will be showing up to an event that will take place in Longview. But Longview has a connection with this foundation that goes back a number of years. Now, to explain what's going on here, we're going to be joined now by Spokesman Brad Bunt. And Brad, you join us now. I guess tell us, first of all, for those that don't know, tell us a little bit about the U.S. Ukraine Foundation and what they do.
Okay, and thank you, Bob, for allowing us to be here. The U.S. Ukraine Foundation is the oldest foundation ever created to aid Ukraine. It was actually created before the fall of the Soviet Union. We actually had an office in Kyiv set up in Kiev before the fall of the Soviet Union. So we've been there from the very beginning through countless struggles for democracy with their election processes, through the Orange Revolution, the Velvet Revolution, through all of the revolutions that Ukraine has had, all the way up to the war today that exists when Russia attacked. So the U.S. Ukraine Foundation is the oldest foundation that has had a presence there. And also, there's offices in Washington, D.C., and I have been working with the U.S. Ukraine Foundation since the late 1990s.
Okay. Just for information, for people that don't know, Brad has been to the Ukraine, I believe, 28 times or 29 times, something like that. From its founding, actually, the driving principles behind the U.S. Ukraine Foundation was to strengthen and in some cases actually establish institutional structures, implement and support needed changes in Ukrainian society. It's a 501c and it supports things like development of democracy and right at this point, preservation of democracy, market development, human rights, humanitarian aid, all of that. Now let's talk about you do all of those things. It's critical in this time as they fight for their very existence that I'm guessing they're making a stop here, and part of this, I'm sure, is to strengthen our allegiances with Ukraine. Is that right?
That's correct. But this specific delegation is focused specifically on energy, renewable energy infrastructure, because their infrastructure in Ukraine with energy, oil and gas have all been bombarded and hit. And so we're looking at ways to sustain energy because the winters are very cold in Ukraine, and that's coming up, and all these guys deal with that topic.
Now let's talk about Longview's connection in this. You might think Ukraine and Longview, boy, that's kind of a stretch there. But Longview actually does have a dog in the fight here, don't they?
We have a long connection all the way back to the 90s. The first trip I took J.R. Curtis, which was a former mayor of Longview. He and I were the first to ever visit Ukraine, and that was probably in 97. And from that delegation, we established a relationship with a city called Romny in Sumy Oblast, which is in the east. And we would bring, after that meeting, we would go back to Longview and work with our communal services workers, our fire department, our police department, our local governance, the judges and law enforcement, and we would take experts back to Romney and try to educate them and talk to them about sustaining democracy, growing democracy, how we do things with water services, communal services, all types of things. And from that, they started visiting Longview. So then we had delegations arriving here in the late 90s. And from that, it really branched out bigger than just Romney, city to city Longview. We started setting up delegations in Donetsk and in Lviv and Kyiv, to where 50 cities would come in and learn from local local people about specific topics and take it back to their city. So we've had in Longview, I'd say we've had 10 delegations of mayors from all over Ukraine, from the east side, from the west side, those that are occupied now, um, young mayors, old mayors, those that still believed in the old Soviet system, and those that wanted to change the old Soviet system. So we've seen all types of delegations in Longview and also on our travels there.
Okay. Now let's talk about an event that is coming up on the 29th. This is going to be happening at Pinecrest Country Club. And this is kind of an important event because it's going to be able to, it's recognizing the assistance that has come, I guess, from just your average Americans and people involved.
Yes, it's I want to speak first of the Texas Oil and Gas Symposium, which will be on Tuesday and Wednesday. And that's where our delegation will be interacting with uh, individuals from Texas and Oklahoma and Louisiana on energy, oil and gas, nuclear energy, sustainable energy, wind, and green energy. All types of topics are going to be discussed during that time. And then on Tuesday night, we're going to have a reception and a dinner at Pinecrest Country Club that will be a little different because we're bringing in one of our Friends of Ukraine Network board members, General Philip Breedlove, who was the former NATO commander, Supreme Commander of Europe. And he's going to be speaking on the state of the war, what's happening on the ground now, policies that impact the war, policies that could help aid the Ukrainians win the war, and what the Ukrainians in general need to win the war. And after his speech, we're going to have a special award given to Oksana Bayul called the Champion for Ukraine Award because of her countless and tireless work on behalf of the people of Ukraine.
All right. And now, I guess to round it out here, for those people that don't know anything about the U.S. Ukraine Foundation, there's also calling part of this is Friends of Ukraine as well.
That's right.
How would they find out more about you, or how would they get involved?
I would love for anybody to go to our website, the U.S. Ukraine Foundation, and look through our board and specifically look at our FOUN, Friends of Ukraine Network members. We have members that are involved in economics, revitalization of Ukraine, rebuilding, military. We have a national security task force that has Wesley Clark and Breedlove and other generals, Mike Hodges, ambassadors, former ambassadors. And we really go around all around the United States. We've been to Denver and Los Angeles and other places just within the last 2 months. But this week, we've got one of our best guys that can explain the conditions, and that's General Breedlove, and he will be here in Longview, Texas. And so we're excited about that.
All right. Brad, thank you so much for joining us today, and best of luck in the future.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Brad Bunt, and we will have much more on this on KLTV News tonight. For KLTV WebXtra, I'm Bob Hallmark.